And we are live. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back here on the channel YouTube channel. Sorry, we are late today. I said 16 p.m. Excuse me very much. I'm when I give a word, it's a kind of um, this it destroys me when I can't get to have my word done. And sorry again, but I broke my car and I needed to change. I have another car that we use in the other company where I work for, and I had to go to my first the company headquarters to change the car and turn here again. So I I had four to 5 hours traveling in cars. One broken. We have found it and turned into got that late car into a mechanic. Anyway, let's get into the on-chain for today. And today we are gonna talk about three things. Let's start by obviously the macro on-chain data we have. Then we go through what could be the next stop for us in terms of on-chain resistances. And then we'll go through a little bit on the forensic series that I found with Dune Analytics that will confirm us that some kind of how much bitcoins are held by the US government, and how it is that we are actually taking into account all of that, and we can say that they had that more or less they are a part of the holdings of the US or not. But let's first get into the realized price today. Let's see where we are. As I already said multiple times, we bounced off the 200 weekly SMA and the EMA, actually the SMA, the last one, and we got a little bit back above, also because of a money printing gobber news that comes from the US government that raised the debt ceiling. Obviously, if you asked me before, and in fact I made TikToks and so on, I said it wasn't really time the US wasn't going to default. Why? Because actually they haven't a CBDCs, but I will talk about that in a new podcast maybe. Anyway, we are going up, as I already said, and also because of this we retouched the 25.8 and then we bounced up. That was the trend on chain. Technical analysis all say that we are gonna get above that. So two resistances we haven't talked about last time, even if we have talked about a lot of things, are this one, and I want to talk about that. That is the 2 years or less realized price, and that means the the on-chain cost basis of the 2 years or less hodlers in aggregate. And in fact, that was the last time we touched it. Here you see yourself that we stayed below, and we want to break above that if we want a rally to another level. And the levels we talked about last time we spoke on the levels that maybe could have on the technical analysis side been a resistance. They are these levels right here. That was the average size 70, I guess, on another chart, yeah, on the weekly. Here we have this kind of resistances above. Let's see if these resistances get into what are actually our resistances. For example, here we have 29.4k for this realized price. 29.4k are more or less the first that we can reach, and in fact on a technical analysis basis 29.4 as well is also let me take this 29 more or less because it will change. 29.4 is more or less right here, and in fact as you see there are weekly candles closing and openings, and as well as the shadows that touch here and is a huge support and or resistance. And in fact, as you see right here, we are more or less stay below also the 0.236 of the Fibonacci levels as well. So also take into account these levels to the upside, because they will be resistances. And so more of that are also as well here other let's say resistances on chain are, for example, the 2 to 3 years realized price. So that means the 2 to 3 years hodled coins, so holders, cost basis for these holders that are at 36.8, and the 1 to 2 years, so 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, 2 to 3 are 36.8, and 1 to 2, sorry for the words, 42.8. So let's get 36.8, and let's see on technical analysis side if everything's correct. 36 more or less was the last bastion we got here on the technical analysis side, but 36.8 is more or less right there. It could change, so more or less let's take into account that 26.8 is a little bit back above. I will say that 36 more or less will be our last bastion, but more, we said 42.8 for the 1 to 2 years realized price. And let's get to the 42k level. What you see right here is 0.5 Fibonacci level, and that's the difference, the point that we want to reach on the weekly chart if we want to have a change in the direction on a macro scale onto a new bull market. So with price appreciation that will reach high levels of obviously of the price of this asset, in this case Bitcoin. And 0.5 is not only that, it's also, as you see right here, as a lot of resistances on the chart as well. So you get all these candles right here, but if we get more or less from this side, as you see, there is this candle right here, this candle right here, and still when we touched it and we used it as a support, the 42k level was like a jump for us to reach 69k and so on. So in this case we are at these levels, and I think will be huge for us if we can make it. But as of right now we need still more weeks, also because of the fact that still this is a weekly chart and so on. So let's get into the on-chain analysis anyway, because I get you into the technical analysis side as well, even if on-chain MoonDay, because I got two charts for you today to get the things real close, and for the fact that obviously I got late and I didn't prepare very much, but still I have this for you, and I have more because I have seen this forensic on the June analytics side, and I thank you very much, June, for this report we got today. And the US government Bitcoin holdings are right here, taking into account a size at least 215k Bitcoin since 220. So we know that the US GOV took into account into their wallet more than 200k Bitcoins, and you see right here anyway that they are actually 205k Bitcoins. That equals to more or less the estimated USD balance is $5.8 billion more or less. So this is more 205k Bitcoin is one more or less percent of the entire Bitcoin circulating supply. Okay, so it's not really you will say is not really that that low on them. Maybe some of you will tell, well, 1% isn't really much, but the US Gov, taking into account 1%, is actually huge. The fact is that we don't have to be worried about for many reasons, and we are going to talk today about this in specific. let's talk first about the fact that we don't really know, okay, if all these Bitcoin are actually in the US Gov hands. Why you would say so? We are talking about this. Why Dune Analytics sized this report and estimated this Bitcoin balance? Because the seizure that we have, and we have it right here. The majority of them, anyway, are coming from these files. You see right here we have the DOJ menu. So the justice.gov site, United States files a civil action for fake cryptocurrency valued at over $1 billion US dollars, and in specific, it takes into account all of this. And is the complaint. There is actually data to make us know that they actually got into account 1 billion of at the time of speaking Bitcoin into seizure, and more. Here there are more, another seizure and another one again. So we have data that confirms to us that that the US Gov holds this Bitcoin, and obviously we have also the transactions coming from them, more or less. And in fact, you see right here the last one. I was preparing it, but still, this is the last piece of transaction we have. I really don't want to take into account all of this, because for the very much of you, this will mean anything, because there are too many data, too many numbers and so on. But I will explain you a little bit how this works. Here, for example, we have the Bitcoin seized from James Dong, and we know that because they come from many wallets related to him that we already knew about. And all of this you see right here, 30k. He received 30k Bitcoin right here, and we receive 50k right here that we send. This is the total sent, and this is the total received. Okay, so this is the balance, the net balance onto the that still remains into the wallet. Another one we have right here, and these are all the same transaction for us, and are these free right here. The transaction ID are free because obviously we had, and you see right here, we had more and more transactions. Okay, and I will not get into what they have, but 9k, for example, 9k Bitcoin, and we had is this transaction right here. Okay, 9k Bitcoin, and more and so on. We have all the rest, 30k and so on. So this is the 30k transaction. Okay, right here. So we have all this transaction history onto the charts here, but we have 3 pages and so on of all what are the transaction made. Okay, so we have the history of this transaction. What we actually are into here is that we know that they more or less are ownership of the US Gov. So the last one, and let's get into the last one. For example, we know that we have 2 transactions. One transaction that comes from here and goes from here, goes to here. In this case, and another one that probably is the first, because we have the 19th of 2023 March. And this is the 7th March 2023, and so we have this transaction. So the first here involves 9.8k, the first transaction, and another one involves 30k in transaction. This one right here actually gets to involve more output. So no, I clicked the wrong one, I guess. Let me take this into account. Okay, so we have the 30k that goes into a wallet, and another 10k that goes into another wallet. Now I won't go into the forensic of it, because I just need time to get all of this put together, because I got this news today. But the point is that this is not going onto a single wallet, and we don't know if these coins will be sold, or where they will be held. There are, and there was at the start of March, and these are data coming. The last date of last recorded transaction was the 7th of March 2023, at least for what I can read here. And so what we know is that this will go into other wallets, onto the Bitcoin network, and we don't know where they will end up getting, who's end up getting them. But what we know is that we don't have to, we will end up panicking if we don't know that they need to be, there will be nothing, I don't know the word in English, but it will be an auction. We'll need an auction, okay, for the US GOV to sell this Bitcoin. So actually, they will not be sold directly into an exchange, because that will be like liquidity, getting liquidity. They don't do that. They sold in an auction. They send this Bitcoin to someone else that probably will get them into a cold wallet, and or sell over the counter, in any case, to not be self-pressuring themselves, and pressure the price to the downside, and get less of what they can do on the over-the-counter board. So we don't have to be panicking right for 2005k Bitcoin if they are actually still in the hands of the US GOV, and we don't know exactly if they are still, but we know that more or less, according to Glassnode, 10Ks of them on March 9, associated with the US GOV, were on the move to Coinbase. So this doesn't mean actually that the government on the here was 9 March, the 9 March, let's get into the technical analysis start, 9 of March right here. This doesn't mean that this kind of movement to the downside was correlated to that movement, because there was rumors about that, and only that. In fact, you don't see that much of a price appreciation. You will get much more if all those Bitcoin, like 10k Bitcoin, was sold at a market price. You won't get that. You will get like a huge spike to the downside, because they will get the stops of people that will enter, and probably will have a shadow, taking into account derivatives and so on. So you will have a shadow that will gain up and get down and up. So probably we'll get to over 18, 17, 16 to take the bids and so on. The fact is that even in this case, with this 9k Bitcoin associated with, let's say, associated with US government law enforcement seizures, we are not going to experience that much of a sell pressure. Actually, this is where food people was actually losing their mind on this, and sold probably before anything goes wrong. But as always, the price didn't react that much. And what happened next? Watch yourself what happened next. We got from 20k here to 28k in a series of like a week or less. So this is what I see today. This is what I think, and these are the reasons why we don't have to panic when we are talking, and we have talked about US government Bitcoin holdings. They will be 1% of the circulating supply. Okay, Satoshi has like 5 to 10% of this. We have a lot of miners that have more than 1%, and so on. So actually, there isn't really much that we can take into account. Anybody that have such amount of power in terms of USD balance will never lose this power just selling it into an exchange, or anyway sending into an exchange. Why would the US GOV sending to Coinbase to sell? Probably they was selling was somebody that held on Coinbase this they was just moving them to someone who actually can take into account this on a cold wallet on with let's say an agreement with Coinbase enforcement and so on. We don't know, but actually they didn't sell because a 10k a 10k Bitcoin at like, let's get 20k price, a medium price, let's say 20k where it was at the end of the day, more or less. So 20k for 10k is actually 200 million dollar sell pressure, and will take like 20% down the price if sold at market price. So at the end of the day, even if we take into account from here, 20% will be, as I already said, 17k. They weren't sold, and they didn't. Even if you want to take the fact that they sold only a little bit of them, it was neither a 1/3, and probably it was just food. Again, the data suggests, and not only the data suggests, the data actually confirms our vision. The Bitcoin holdings on the US GOV side are not to take into account for a panic generalized idea of if they sold, if they sell, if they will in a future make something that will drive the price. The only thing is the food. Don't get distracted by this. Get your chart, get your analysis correct, and you will see that everything put together will tell you the truth. Just take this into account. This is most likely what I had to say today for you guys, for everybody. Another fun fact that I saw earlier, but the majority of you already knows, so I'm taking into account the chart as well, is that the Ethereum holdings on the exchanges in general are at an all-time low. That's obviously because they were put into what we can the ETH.2 staking is not the ETH beacon staking actually. So it's not anymore ETH.2 like since month now, and so probably is that derived not only for that, but also to take into the cold wallet, since everything went well with the Ethereum upgrading on the mainnet, and still taking into account what will be the let's say that the people talking about that, the fact that this is so ultra sound money, people is just taking into account that this is similar to Bitcoin, as per you take into account this for years into your wallet, and then into a near future. And this is all you see. I forgot all I see. I said right here, and what I will say is not financial advice, guys and girls. Is just to make you know the things as much as I can to help you with what I know. It's not financial advice, and I have to tell to get my ass covered anyway. So still, all of this is, and I'm doing this. I'm taking Ethereum, I'm taking Bitcoin, and I'm putting into a cold storage, or anyway into a wallet that I will not touch for years, 10, 20 years, and so on, because I think this will be investments, a long-term investment that will drive prosperity to me again and again as a part of what will come. And I think I will get out more on this investment than just trading them in terms of USD value, because USD will devalue in time. Meanwhile, this will not. Will increase in value for money printing, for the fact that will be a huge driver of demand for block space in either directions, because I don't know if you already know, but on the Bitcoin blockchain, actually on the Bitcoin blockchain, we have, let me just get my camera a little bit up. We have the new USD protocol about ordinals. So we have a new USD stablecoin taking into account the ordinals protocol and blockchain. That's actually, I will say, huge, but still, I said it even when there was the NFTs, the first NFTs onto the ordinals that drove so much demand for block space and so much revenue for miners, to keep raising hash rate, entering this industry and making investments onto that. So I know it's kind of an attack for maxis, but in the case of an investor, this is actually really huge. I'm an investor, I'm not a maxi of any kind. I like money and I like to get prosper. I don't like to lose money, so I'm very careful with my money. My first rule is not lose money, because to make money you don't get to lose money. Losing money is like losing time, and losing time is losing money. So the fact here is that on the long term, this, if driven correctly, if everything goes smooth and work finely, without taking into account too much of the Bitcoin network itself, so searching for demands for layer 2 transactions like the Lightning networks that actually really, like with 20-40 cents, you can send 1 million to everybody in like seconds. Anybody that I know that are working with Bitcoin are not using the Lightning network. Like, what, mate? And they do only on like countries like, I don't know, El Salvador, for example. They use the Lightning network, and it's extra fast, it's, I don't know. I think the massification will come from layer 2s of Bitcoins, and as well layer 2s of Ethereum. And nothing. This is actually everything I had to say. So if you want to know more about the Bitcoin analytics on the forensic side for the Bitcoin holdings of the US, you can actually follow me on Twitter. I will give out that free, and also my newsletter. I will give more details of every single transaction, or maybe we'll see how to get more details of it into a newsletter. So all the links are in the description, all for my social. Follow me there as well. Subscribe, click the notification bell, and if you want to take a course on Onchain, just contact me. I'm here. If you don't want, I don't really make that much. $150 is not really much. It's just like a thank from you to me, that I give all my knowledge in one single course. Then I can obviously, if you chat with me, I will help you through all your life. I don't really care about that. I just want to make people know about all of this, and in fact, you will see more updates come as soon as I get time, because it seems like time is losing itself with these accidents. But I will keep going in the coming years, and you will see. So as of today, I thank you all for being here to take the time to listen to me, and I wish you the best things in life, as always, that are for me health, money, and love. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.